Doctors, lawyers, software engineers are all experts in their own field, but if we're not careful, AI could wipe them all away. But it's not what you think. Before we get started, if you're new to Busy Book Club, welcome. My name is Mike, and every day we read a new chapter of interesting books. Today we're on part 2, chapter 8 of Co-Intelligence by Ethan Mollick. The chapter is called AI as a Coach. Let's get started. The fundamental problem that this chapter is trying to solve is summarized as the paradox of knowledge acquisition in the age of AI. Ethan Mollick says, we may think we don't need to work to memorize and amass basic skills, or build up a storehouse of fundamental knowledge. After all, this is what the AI is good at. Foundational skills, always tedious to learn, seem to be obsolete. And they might be, if there was a shortcut to being an expert. But the path to expertise requires a grounding in facts. Put another way, AI is so good at knowledge work that learning basic skills seems to be unnecessary. If an AI can write a function for you, why should you learn that to become a software engineer? If an AI can do anatomy, why should you learn that to become a doctor? And of course we know that doctors need to learn these skills. We need experts who are able to think critically and evaluate AI output, and new grads need that expertise. But how do you develop that expertise if these fundamental skills are being outsourced to AI? One solution that Ethan Mollick puts forward in this chapter is that AI should be employed as coaches. He gives the example of several Wharton experiments where students were put through a simulation pitching their ideas to a VC. But here's the catch. The VC was an AI. They would present to one AI, then a second AI would take notes based on their presentation, and then a third AI would mentor them based on the notes from the second AI. Now, Ethan Mollick does say there were some limitations and it required a little bit of improvisation, but as we know, AI models are only getting better. And if you remember yesterday's episode with Conmigo, I think Conmigo is an example of a coach. In the background, Conmigo is taking notes about what the student is doing and uses those notes to provide better feedback. Salman Khan, in that talk, he mentions how Conmigo uses the Socratic method, which is a method that's designed to encourage critical thinking and debate, which is a really active way of learning. And this could be a real glimpse into the future. If AI agents are able to push students to really think critically in their coaching methods, that could really revolutionize both education and the development of skills by junior professionals. So maybe this idea of AI coaches isn't as far-fetched as it seems. And as I read this, the idea of AI coaches reminded me so much of Star Trek Voyager. The emergency medical hologram, played by Robert Picardo, trains Lieutenant Tom Paris, played by Robert Duncan McNeil, in basic medicine because the chief medical officer has perished in one of the earlier episodes. And that's not a spoiler because it's been out for like 20 years. So yeah, if you haven't seen it by now, then that's your fault, not mine. The other way Ethan Mollick proposes to resolve this paradox is actually using AI to level the playing field across professions. And the way to understand this is that the dispersion across most professions is very high between top and bottom performers. Just think about professional athletes. The best performers in those sports are miles ahead of the rest of us. And you may have also heard of the concept of the 10x engineer, those engineers that are up to 10 times more effective than the average software engineer. Professional roles like these are made up of many different types of tasks, including research, writing, problem solving, taking notes, and every professional, even the really high-performing ones, they all have weak spots, and AI can help fill those gaps. So for example, if you're better than me at coding, but I'm better than you at research, AI can actually help with both of those skills, effectively bringing our total performance closer together. And in one study, consultants at Boston Consulting Group had a dispersion of 22% between top and bottom performers, but when they were given access to ChatGPT, that gap shrank to just 4%. Now, that's all I had for this chapter. If you want to catch up with the rest of us, you can find the first video in the series here. Tomorrow's chapter is called AI as Our Future, and who knows what the future has in store for us. I will see you tomorrow.